on YouTube, and thanks for coming back for another video. Alrighty guys, so it's gonna be springtime here pretty soon, and I'm gonna be focusing on my front yard today. So I'm gonna show you the process of me killing off my existing grass and then replanting it with a new hybrid Bermuda grass. So let's go ahead and get started, guys. Alrighty guys, so the first step we're going to be doing is we're going to kill off our existing grass first, and I'm going to be using Roundup, but you could use any product you prefer to use to kill your grass or whatever. So we're going to kill the grass, and then after it's dead, what we're going to do again is water the grass so that any grass that's probably out of dormancy is going to come out, or any weeds might come out. We're going to respray those and let those die off. After that, we're gonna be scalping the lawn. Probably gonna get a thatch rake, I'm not sure yet. So we can make sure we can open that lawn up and get a very good seed to soil contact. All right guys, so let's go ahead and get started and spray the lawn. Alrighty guys, sorry I had to do this quick little voiceover because for some reason my audio wasn't working. But this is a lawn 2 weeks after I sprayed. So what I did after the first week, the majority of the lawn was dead. So after that, I went ahead and started watering the grass again so that anything, that was still dormant, started growing again. And pretty much after that, I went ahead and resprayed everything. And I'm gonna let that die off, and then our next step will be scalping the lawn. Alright guys, so now that the lawn is nice and dead, our next step is to scalp the lawn as low as possible with your lawnmower. So we're gonna go ahead and set that to your lowest setting, and then we're gonna go ahead and mow the lawn. So let's get started. Alright guys, so I just got done scalping the lawn as low as possible. As you can see some bare dirt, but we're going to want to open that lawn even more. So I wanted to go and buy a thatch rake, but when I went, apparently didn't have any more in stock and didn't have any power rakes to rent. So what I'm going to use just a regular garden rake right here, and then we're going to rake this all up to open that lawn even more, because remember, you want that good seed to soil contact. So let's go ahead and get started, guys. Alright guys, so now I'm all done, and that was actually pretty tiring. And this is only a small lawn. It's only like roughly 375 square feet. So yeah, it would have been a lot easier if I had a power rake or a thatch rake at least, but you know what, I got it done, so that's good. Okay, so right now would be a good time if you have any dips or uneven areas. Just go ahead and fill it in with some topsoil. For example, I got a little dip right here, right there. So I'm gonna go ahead and kind of even out the lawn as best as possible before we throw the seed down. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that real quick. Alrighty guys, so I went ahead and filled in a couple little low spots I had here and there. But actually I forgot, I should have done this first actually. This is the little cultivator that I have. So I'm gonna go ahead and just go over the yard kind of lightly, because you want to make sure you loosen up the soil a couple inches. That's going to really help out with germination. So So I'm gonna go ahead and do the yard real quick, and then our next step would be laying down the seed. Alrighty guys, so I just got done cultivating the lawn, so the lawn's nice and loose, which is really important for germination. So our next stop is going to be seeding. So the grass seed I went and chose was Arden 15 Bermuda grass, which is a hybrid. At first I was undecided whether or not to put a warm season grass or a cool season grass like in my back lawn, but I decided to go with the warm season, especially because this front lawn during the summer gets a lot of heat. So I decided, let me go with that, kind of save on water, and that way I could have two different lawns, for more content, I guess you can say. I got warm season in the front and I got cool season in the back. Alright, grass seed is done. Next step, covering that top with some peat moss or cow manure, whichever you prefer. So let's get started with that. Okay guys, so I covered the seed everywhere with peat moss already, and our last step, and the most important step I would say, is watering. So it takes roughly about 7 days for the grass seed to germinate. It just depends on the weather conditions and all that. So you want to make sure you keep the soil and seed all wet. So you want to set your timer, I would say 2 or 3 times a day. As you can see, I get a lot of sun, so most likely I'm going to do this about 3 times a day, in the morning, afternoon, and evening. So as far as how long to run your sprinklers, it really determines on your sprinkler heads. Like some shoot out more water than others. So basically, you want to water enough so it's wet, but you don't have a bunch of runoff everywhere, because you don't want your seed washing away. Especially I don't know if you can tell on the camera, but it's actually a slight hill going right there, so I have to be careful not to water too much that I get all this runoff on the street and the sidewalk and everywhere. So you gotta really keep an eye on it. Depending on your sprinkler, it might be 5 minutes, it might be 10 minutes, it just depends. So just keep an eye on it and make sure you don't water too much that, like I said, you have runoff, because that would just wash away your money pretty much. So I'm gonna go ahead and water this, and we'll be done for today. Alright guys, so here's the lawn 16 days after seeding. As you can see, I got some nice germination going on right here, as well as in the front area. But it did take me a while for the lawn to germinate. I think it's because of weather. For example, the day after I seeded, it went up to about 90 for about 2 days, and then after that it actually rained. It dropped down to about the 60s, and then there was a whole week straight where it was about 90s, and that week actually is when I got a lot of germination actually. So I think you just needed a really good amount of sun and water, and as soon as that week came, all this germination started popping up even more. So after the first week, you want to up your watering time, and the following week you want to up it even more, so basically about your regular watering schedule. But yeah guys, want to show you how the lawn looks. So it's coming in nicely, so I'm going to continue watering it. And don't worry guys, since it's Bermuda grass, this has stolons, so they're going to start filling in all these bare spots. So here it is guys, and I'll keep you guys updated. I really hope you guys enjoy this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks.